Thomas Sowell been right about DEI for a long time. You know what I mean?
I bet.
And here's here's a few discussions that he had on DEI, a few debates he had on DEI, and look how today we had to get rid of it. We had to shut it down, had to pull it back. So listen to this clip.
Multiculturalism has not only taken root in schools, I think it is uncritically accepted by a lot of Americans, haven't thought it through. In this book, you assault it head on. You describe it as a barrier to progress and a lot of other things. Explain why multiculturalism, if you would, is bad.
I guess it starts from a false premise, which is that there's something that all cultures are equal in some undefinable sense, which has never been the case. I mean, some cultures are better at some things, worse at other things, and at particular times in history, one group's culture may be ascendant, and another time another group's. But what you almost never see is what they assume is a norm, namely all groups performing pretty much the same in all kinds of fields across the board. That you can go through centuries of history without finding a single example of that.
Multiculturalism is an insistence that the particular cultures found among less fortunate groups are not to be blamed for disparities in income or education or crime rates, but are on net positive.
Yes.
Close quote. Explain that.
You can't find any fault with any group that is less fortunate. There are no behaviors that they need to change in order to advance.
Yeah.
Society needs to accept them as they are.
And that's it.
In other words, the causes are to remain the same, but the effects are to change. And if the effects don't change, then it's society's fault.
No, but it's fascinating that I see this happening in all sorts of issues.
So basically, he was like, we shouldn't be making exceptions to the rule just for skin color. We should be a society. You should be able to. Everybody should go in. But now the society deals with a certain way. The society is the problem, and we need to fix the society, not just keep making exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
From Federal Reserve policies on across the board, that you say, here's this wonderful program, and it will do wonderful things, and the burden of proof is on others to show that it will not do those things. And no matter how long it's been going on,
it's not long enough.
It's never long enough. If it failed, there just wasn't enough commitment. The budget wasn't big enough. Should have had a larger staff, wider powers. But there is never any sense of a burden of proof on you to say, when you've made this change that has caused such furor in this country and has gotten people at each other's throats, including people who have been allies in the past, such as blacks and the Jews, there is never any sense of a need for you to advance the empirical evidence to support what you've been doing.
Oh, on the contrary, Dr. Sowell, I'm perfectly willing to have other people collect empirical evidence. That's not my bag. But I'm perfectly happy to subject the affirmative action policies to reasonable statistical evaluation, given a sufficient period.
Well, what is a sufficient? Because you said for a bit, and now we're talking about a sufficient period, and I have difficulty with these.
Well,
what temporal units are we talking about?
I would say
centuries,
decades. I would think of 20 to 25 years.
It's been more than 25 years. Things have gotten worse.
Exactly.
Those Hispanics who grew up speaking English are going onward and upward. And moreover, apparently the parents see this because the Hispanic parents are not as gung ho for bilingualism as the activists are, because they want their kids to go somewhere in this world. It's more satisfying to believe that the problems of the Hispanics are caused by the non-Hispanics, and that you can attack them and so on. And one of the things that got to me about Obama, the man was a community activist. I think most people have no idea what that means. It means that you go out there and polarize people. And you get them to blame somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the problem is not that somebody else will feel indignant. That's a passing problem. The passing problem is the people you claim to be helping are going to be worse off for not doing the things that they could, that are perfectly within their capability. This notion of multiculturalism is something that's just simply not put to the test. And if you put it to the test.
And that's why we keep going into victimism. Like, see, what people don't understand, or black people don't understand, I'm not even going to say people. Other people probably see the potential, but black people have this thing well, it's levels of black, of course, right? You got ones that have gone for their potential and they are successful, living the best life, and then you have a vast majority that aren't living at their potential because they were told that you're lower, you're lesser, you're not
going to be able to get but this so far because
you can't do this
group is against you
and these people don't like you.
Yeah.
Whereas even a lot of these kids from the hood could be highly successful because they just don't know who they are because they told this all they can be. And this is the first thing going. Then you got a mama that's low level, so she can't help you, and you're not able to get to. You're not seeking resources because a lot of people, you just couldn't be birthed here. You couldn't have made it if he didn't have a particular reason why you're here.
That I do believe, and not just the mom. it could be both parents could be operating the same mindset, or there could be one parent that's not there.
True.
Which it's a whole nother story.
Like you see the thing, like it was a clip. I'm gonna play the clip.
Let's stay on
I'm
track.
gonna play the clip. I want to play the clip on it
too, because when you stop it in the middle of a sentence, I have to.
It was
focus
me trying to get
all
to the
way
mouse
with Thomas Sowell.
Of multiculturalism is something that's just simply not put to the test. And if you put it to the test, it collapses like a house of cards. One of the remarkable stories that doesn't seem to get much attention is the story of the New Englanders who came down south after the Civil War to educate the children of the freed slaves. And what they brought was a New England culture, which was radically different from the Southern culture. And there were these little tiny New England enclaves. And from those tiny enclaves, a wholly disproportionate share of all the future black leaders came.
Once again, intellectualism and race. The key word among advocates of multiculturalism became diversity.
Yes.
Sweeping claims for the benefits of demographic and cultural diversity have prevailed without a speck of evidence being asked for or given. Name a few institutions in which diversity is championed without evidence.
Gosh, the question would be, name one where that isn't the case. I would say the whole Ivy League, Stanford, Berkeley.
Corporate America?
Yes. It's really miraculous almost. I mean, I can't think of a word that has gained such widespread use and which is utterly unchallenged without one speck of evidence. If you look at societies that are diverse, they have all they can do to avoid mutual bloodshed. I mean, India, for example, is very diverse, and
it barely coheres as a nation.
That's right. When India was given its freedom by Britain and split into India and Pakistan, I mean, the number of people slaughtered between Hindus and Muslims ran into the hundreds of thousands.
All right.
You say that assumption, in fact, holds different groups down. You write, quote, multiculturalism, like the caste system, paints people into the corner where they happen to have been born, but at least the caste system doesn't claim to benefit those at the bottom.
Absolutely. So when the multiculturalists say, for example, that the schools should not try to make black students speak standard English, the difference between speaking standard English and not speaking standard English can be huge in terms of your job, your careers, and all sorts of other things.
So tell me how it's changed. You've had a remarkable academic career. You've written 35 books. You've taught at the most prestigious universities in the world. I don't think you grew up in a family where that was going to be expected. I don't think your dad was a college professor. How was your education different from the education kids are receiving now?
It was better. That's the straight answer. I went to school in Harlem, but even if you went to school in Harlem in the 1940s and you were in one of the better classes, because they did have ability grouping throughout the system, you got a very good education that would enable you to go anywhere. Some years ago, someone at Forbes said that it was remarkable that I come out of the Harlem schools and went on to these universities. It was not that unusual. In fact, someone who lived about 3 blocks from me in Harlem sent me a letter, said, my gosh, in this one tenement, you know, we had a college professor, a priest, a doctor, and a lawyer when this fellow was growing up. So this was not that unusual. Now, those avenues upward are simply not there.
Now, what was the difference, if you could put a point on it? How was what did your teachers teach you or not teach you that allowed you, and it sounds like other people on your block, not a rich area, to succeed?
First of all, they taught us the English language. They taught us the standard academic subjects. They were not teaching us, the tree hugging. They were not teaching us how to use condoms. They were not teaching us to be victims.
Right.
And they held us to the same standards that they held other kids to.
So, like, we're black and we're from Atlanta. Atlanta, Georgia, if y'all don't know. And when it comes to it's always the people that come out of the social justice warriors, and like black people are oppressed, black people are just stuck in slavery. Black people are act because of slavery. We can't get into schools, we can't get into good jobs. And then when I look at it, I said, this is bullcrap. It's just because we choose to do this. Look at this. These are choices. These young men, this on Bankhead, and they decided, okay, so y'all tell me, is this what DEI is supposed to look like?
What is the problem? You better lock your door. This is insane. This is crazy. Why don't you lock the door, man? Oh my God, this is crazy. This is so insane. This is beyond. Why haven't you called the police?
No,
What on Bankhead is this? Call the police. Call the police.
No.
Now, what if he came out there with a weapon?
That's what people are saying.
What if the man came out there shooting up?
That's what they were saying.
Oh, this is ridiculous. What even justified this? This is just unacceptable. This is ridiculous. Why? I mean, I don't understand why the police haven't pulled up yet. Where is this on Bankhead?
Is it real?
This is ridiculous. And whoever is recording is just as stupid as they are.
Man.
And that's exactly what I said. That's pure stupidity and ignorance at its finest. I'm not going to justify that and make any excuses for that tomfoolery.
So my question is,
don't you do it either.
Are we oppressed?
Child, please.
Or
That's
do
what
we
you call
choose
choices. And
to
all
be
those little
ignorant?
boys need to go to jail. They need to go to jail so they can understand the consequences of their behavior.
Well,
That's unacceptable.
This not really just focus on the boys. It's the combination of the two, right? We're talking about how
I know that.
diverse-
But it's excuses that are going to be made for this type of behavior.
Correct.
Exactly.
And those same excuses are what open up diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Please.
Black people are oppressed. Y'all don't
Oppression
give black
makes you
people a
do
chance.
that?
Y'all don't give black people a chance. It's
Please.
harder for black people because slaves. And then when I go back and say, okay, well, let's what are some things that we as black people are still doing that why we're not able to get, why we need these exceptions, why we can't compete at the high. Some of us, a lot of us now can compete at a high level, but the majority can't. The majority
it's
cannot
the
compete at a high
victim
level.
mindset that has been embedded by previous administrations and organizations and old statistics and outdated information.
So what was that though?
I mean, mindset.
Yeah.
It's acceptable. For some reason, wherever they are, whoever they're around, it's tolerated and it's accepted. So based off of that, if there is not a drastic shift, if they don't have someone that is going to come in their life to help them steer them in the right direction, they will either be in jail or dead. And that's the truth. And that's the fact.
So where is the so the existence of diversity, equity, and inclusion is a cop out. That's just sometimes we just want to protect where we are and then make room for us here, even though we not like this. That's not deserving of anything but jail. They ain't deserving of anything but a hard life. But then you want to say that the white person don't want to let you in. No, they won't let ignorant people in. And so that's why sometimes we not competing at the highest level, because we focus on stupid bullshit. If you excuse my language, that's why we can't. That's why sometimes why we can't compete at the highest level. A lot of us. So there's a majority of there's high class, middle, and a lot of low. There's a lot of low, and the low is the ones who they want to push into these school systems.
Well,
because if you perform on a high level,
then your opportunities are going to open up. Then based off of you talking about in school so far as grades and all that, yeah. So if you're performing at a high level,
you think any of them boys right there trying to prepare to go and
child, please, no, they're probably listening to trash music that's influencing them. They're probably looking at trash.
Baby Kia.
They're probably looking at trash entertainment. I'm not gonna name an artist specifically, but you already know who they are. Who perpetuate drugs, murder, sex, drinking, alcohol, hitting of women, name calling. All of this is a vicious cycle that's supposed to be condoned back on, and they want to wrap all of this ignorance into slavery.
Yeah.
Please get a new story, because
that's
please get something new to blame this on, because slavery is played.
Because I personally think that's the foundation of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
It's played.
Even though diversity, equity, and inclusion opens up for other groups,
so
I'm really more so from the level of the minority, or people can't be let in because we're being held out, suppressed, and people. And that's the
part that gets me, because when it comes to inclusion in another area, let's just say special education for students with disabilities, then I have a different view on that, because many of them will definitely benefit by being in the general education classroom. Mm-hmm. So I have to speak up on that. But when it comes to making excuses as to why you can't get ahead, you can't get a job, if there was one person that looked like you that did it and did it, accomplished a goal and went away and went the regular route, meaning they didn't get no handouts, they put in the sacrifice, the blood, sweat, and tears. The parents weren't wealthy, and they paved the way to success for themselves. Of course, they got help along the way, but they still put in the work. Then you have no story. Mm-hmm. You have no story. Mm-hmm. Alexa, cancel. You have no story.
And then what's messed up? I know that. I
just can't say it.
I know where that gas station is on going on Bankhead Highway.
I can tell.
It's like when you get a little bit more out city part of Bankhead, like right after you pass like Bolton Road and stuff like that, and like Jackson Parkway, and you keep going up like you trying to go to the nicer part of Bankhead. Mm-hmm. That's because it's got the U-Haul trucks and stuff in there. I've seen that, and so that why.
But where are they housed? Because Bankhead now is
still a lot of project sections,
mega homes, some nice big Baduka homes up there.
Yeah, Jackson Parkway, unless they switched up Jackson Parkway, Bolton Road, because even though they redone, you still got hood sections.
It's a shame.
You still got hood parts, but I want to say, man,
I feel like that type of mindset needs to be all grouped and housed in one location, away from people who pay taxes.
I agree.
Who put in work, who paying for them to get certain things in their schools, because they ain't doing it.
It is. It's so you got a Section 8 black and Section 8 white are different. Have you noticed that? Did you know that on welfare, white people are on the welfare system way more than black people, but black people are the one that stand out and show theirs.
But let's not say all black Section 8, because all black people who are on Section 8 don't act like that.
It's not that. I'm just saying the black people are the ones that's standing out the most that are on Section 8. Black people stand out the most on Section 8 than white people that's on Section 8.
Okay.
And it's way more people on white people on Section 8 than black.
So you probably are right. Yeah, I don't know the facts on that, but I just know that is unacceptable.
I think it's just a level.
I'm not making excuses for them.
I think it's just a level of black that has a very low mindset, and it's not related to slavery. You just low mindset, and it's levels. But there's a high number, unfortunately, of low mindset black, and I don't think that's slavery. I think that's just culture, you know.
And that's because what they watch, the media, how they continue to look at and listen to things and want to make excuses for themselves when they can't. When you have options, you got to create options for yourself. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Why you think they should, I still don't know. Because if you go back and do your real homework and your research, black people were thriving even after slavery. We were on the come up. Yes, there was still racism, but there were a lot of slaves who were winning after slavery.
But that's why certain people don't like these people that claim that we are so oppressed in their schools, in their neighborhoods, and that's unfortunate, but it's true. It's levels of truth to it. Now, there are some rules where people just looking at things from prejudiced eyes, and because that's how they were taught. But certain kids like that, it'd be the first ones to say got failing grades, and they want to get one of these people into a higher level of education. No, I'm sorry.
Well, no, I mean, that's the real reality of this is, if they act this way, that's the mindset. So we already know they're on a low vibration. They probably can't read. They're probably in, and I'm definitely going to say, special education classes or early intervention, classes, the prerequisite. So they're already going to be performing on a lower level. So they're not even going to be able to get a job comparable to people who have sense.
Correct.
I mean, so it's not even an issue. You're going to have to worry about them committing crimes and stealing your car.
Right. That I was just about to say.
Robbing you.
I was just about to say, you don't have to worry about DEI with that little group. That little group, that's the little group they have already mapped out prison cells for this use. Because they can do that based on certain criteria. They can start mapping out jails of how many black boys that's gonna come from this area. That's gonna go here.
Statistics says it's third grade reading. If your kid, if the child is not reading at a third grade level, and particularly black males, if they're not reading at a third grade level, they're already preparing them a place in jail. Now we know the trajectory can always change. I have hope. I'm the person that hopes and tends to want to help those youth. But I'm not babysitting you. I'm not pacifying you. I'm not sweet talking to you. And, you're going to have to snap out of it if you want to live and survive, because I'm going to keep it real with you. Now, you can make a choice. You don't have to. You can go to jail. I mean, it ain't cool being in jail. But if you want to be, it's on you. I'm definitely not going to stop you. I'm going to help you out as much as I can. But if you don't want to be helped, I only want to help those who want to help themselves. That's it. No more trying to save the whales. I did that when I first got an education. No thank you and no thank you. Some of them want to go through the hard life.
And on that note,
but we got to stop making excuses for them and paying for stuff for them. Come on,
because that's exactly what DEI.
Get our dollars back.
That's exactly what DEI does. All right, we'll see you on the next one, man. It's crazy, man. I hope y'all watch all the way through. Smash that like button.